Hello and welcome to this edition of Olsem Wanem, where we feature the University of Goroka. The UOG is embarking on its 2017 academic year with 2,000 plus students prepared to enter their first year at university. Tonight we share information from the academic leaders who are eager to continue their vision to lead the region in the integration of research, scholarship and community development towards nation building.
Last year was described as a tumultuous and trying year. However, the year was completed and will see more than 1,000 students graduate in April.
Last year has been a very tumultuous one. It's a trying one. Many people saw problems coming. Many people thought we would sort of crumble, but we stood out. We stood out because of the support on the ground, the support of our non-academic staff, the support of our academic staff, and that support extended to the respective provincial governments of Eastern Highlands, Simbu, Juwaka, Western Highlands, Enga, Hela, Southern Highlands. Without their support, and of course the support of the government and support of our council, we were able to complete the academic year. Now, if we didn't complete the academic year, by now we would still be teaching what was supposed to be taught last year.
This year, the Chancellor of UOG says they are prepared and ready for the academic year to begin.
We want to appeal to the parents, and particularly sponsors and students, that University of Goroka is determined to make sure that we provide the education, the environment that is needed to complete their studies.
Last year, there were nearly 30,000 grade 12 students in 2016, but only 11,000 were successfully secured in PNG tertiary institutions in 2017. Some 2,000 plus students secured places at the University of Goroka. So let's take a look at UOG, described as the third largest of 6 universities in PNG.
Our course, as we have said, is diversified. For the first time, we are offering Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Business Studies, and the higher education department has given scholarships for these new courses to be offered at the University of Goroka. Unlike our previous programs, we only in teacher education. Now we are diversifying into health education, agriculture, we're into accounting, and our teacher education programs. So these are some new courses that we will be offering, including tourism and hospitality. So we're diversifying and we're expanding. One of the common problems or challenges we face is spaces and logistics and all these ones, but we are working around to make sure that everyone come to get a space and to start a successful academic year. Just to end, I would like to thank all our academic staff, our students, stakeholders who have been working very, very hard last year. I'm sure they're resting. They're arriving this week. We will start next week to have a successful year again. And I would like to thank the council members for just staying right beside us to support all our programs. So they have not been far away. They're with us.
They are also celebrating their 20th anniversary.
This year, of course, is a very special year for the University of Goroka, because this year marks the 20th anniversary of this institution becoming a university. And so every activity that we would like to bring about during the course of the year will be part of that annual celebration of the 20th anniversary. And as you heard, I mentioned that a women's forum is already a prelude to the 20th anniversary of the University of Goroka. We are planning for at least 3 other conferences, which will be spread throughout the year. The highlight of our 20th anniversary celebration will be our graduation, which will be held towards the later part of April. I guess it's 28th of April. So on that graduation day, we are hoping that we will put out into the workforce about 1,000 students who will graduate. Now, that is an achievement for us, because if we didn't complete the academic year last year, we are unable to have graduation of these 1,000 men and women. So it's an achievement for us, it's an achievement for the government, because we are driving an agenda of government, agenda for human capital development, human resource development, and that is our core function.
Don't go away, we have more to come with UOG's Vice Chancellor, Professor Sinebare, who shares the new policy called the Oath of Admission. Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. The University of Goroka says they are prepared for the new academic year. In addition to being prepared, the UOG has also embarked on significant initiatives to encourage UOG students. Take, for example, the newly introduced policy this year, which is seen by the academic leaders as a student affirmation in their pursuit of knowledge and truth.
The Vice-Chancellor of UOG, Professor Sinebare, has declared that the Oath of Admission is a 10-statement document intended to help moderate the behaviors of students. It's a new document which aims to protect each student and guide them as they embark on their new year at an academic institution like UOG.
As part of the registration, which is the nitty-gritty of getting the students to register in order to become a formally recognized student at this university, we have embarked on some very small but significant policy initiatives. And they are basically to ensure that our students must know their duties and responsibilities, and of course many of them do. But for our purpose, we would like to just kindly remind them again their obligation to themselves, to the parents, the sponsors, and the guardian, but more importantly, the obligation to the nation, because many of the students who come here will be funded by the nation through the scholarship schemes. So it's not just students coming to this university, it's a student who has got a mission to accomplish. And that is why they've got a scholarship. And that is why their parents and guardians and sponsors fund their program. And I think this is the most significant policy initiative that we would like to introduce, is the Oath of Admission. Oath of Admission is nothing new. It's not something unique. It's common in many places, many schools, many organizations. They introduce various statements to which members, or say for example in a school environment, those students in a particular school environment have to sign up to this oath of admission, as we want to call it here for the University of Goroka. There are 10 statements, and all of these 10 statements, I am saying in here that none of these 10 statements denies anybody any right from their basic rights or the qualified rights. All are within.
The statements include: I will live and faithfully abide by all PNG laws, the statutes, bylaws, policies, rules and regulations of the UOG. I will devote myself to the serious pursuit of knowledge and truth for the advancement of my family, myself, my community and nation. I will strive to work with courage and diligence to achieve success in all my learning opportunities and enjoy the success of others. I will be conscientious in my academic work and discriminating in my social contacts, associations and activities. I will have a realistic goal and work smart to achieve my goal. I will always protect and enhance the dignity of every human life without any bias, based on ethnicity, creed, gender, or affiliation. I will respect my colleagues, myself, my lecturers, and my university to strive for excellence in my studies. I will turn my mistakes into positive lessons and not develop negative habits and antisocial behaviors. I will render my registration at UOG invalid when I am found to be in breach of the laws of PNG, bylaws, policies, rules, and regulations for the University of Goroka.
So what we're saying is nothing outside of the blue. It's capturing from our mandate. So the students have to be aware that university exists for them to pursue the truth and knowledge and advancement. And once the truth and knowledge empowers them, then the benefit flows on into their community, their individual.
Thank you for watching Olsem Wanem. We will return after this short break with more on GPAs. How important are GPAs for grade 12 students intending to apply for courses in universities across PNG? You're watching Olsem Wanem. Students' grades achieved in high school are very important to them, especially to be eligible for entry to higher education and to be eligible for Higher Education Contribution Assistance Scheme, otherwise known as HECAS. We now take a look at the University of Goroka and their GPA expectations for UOG applicants. Also later is a special message from the UOG academic leaders to all grade 12 students in PNG this year.
The grade point average or GPA is important for grade 12 students as it represents the grades achieved through secondary high school. The GPA achieved is awarded by 0.0 to 4.0. The GPA is calculated by dividing the product of grade points and credit points by the total of credit points. The University of Goroka announced new expectations for the GPA requirements when applying for entry to study at UOG.
The enrollments, we have increased our GPAs to 2.8 this year because of large number of intakes. We are not the only university that's at that requirement of 2.8, but many other universities are doing the same. But we have a GPA of 2.8 this year because of large number of interest. And University of Goroka, for the first time, we are occupying all our spaces and our enrollment figures through first choices. We had second and third choice previously, but this year, all first choices for all our programs in 2017, which is very good. And some parents are saying, well, my child has GPA of 3 and yours is 2.8. How come they are not here? And because of the large number, we have 300 more students who are qualified for GPA. One of the other qualifications we looked at was the entry requirement for English. So if they get a C or a D, then these students, even though they get good marks and they reach the GPA of 3 or above 3, and if they get a C or a D in English, then we have, because of the competition, they were not selected. So they might be thinking that why did they miss out, then I'm trying to explain why. I want to clarify on behalf of the University of Goroka, saying that ECAS scholarships are not decided by University of Goroka or in that matter any other universities. It is determined by the office of the DEST, Department of DEST. They start with the highest GPA, they come down until they completely exhaust the 5,000 scholarships that they award for this year, and then that's where they stop. And for this year, It did not come down to 2.25, but they came to 2.5. So students were asking, I got 2.25 last year, and I got ACAS. Why am I missing out? And then that's my explanation to parents, sponsors, other guardians, that now, because as the department DEST, because they came to 2.5, we cannot come down. Therefore, the scholarships were adjusted. And this is not a decision made by University of Goroka.
Here, the Vice Pro-Chancellor explains what options are available for students who don't meet the GPA expectations. UOG says there are still opportunities for all.
We have another program specifically for these people who put first choice. So we upgrade them, and in the following year, if they meet the required GPA, we will enroll them. And I think this is the first year that we have enrolled some of our own students who applied first choice and they couldn't make the required GPA. We've upgraded it in our DFL centers throughout Papua New Guinea. And then now we have enrolled many of these students. So that's another initiative the University of Goroka has initiated.
When asked what advice the academic leaders of UOG can give to the current grade 12 students, the leaders shared this special message.
What we want to tell them is that, look, the students, you need to work really smart. All these, access activities, that we know, the fights in schools and pushing drugs in the schools does not help. And we must do everything possible to make sure that you do less of the harmful things and do more of the good things in order to increase their life skills, their study habits, and that they can compete, with each other in order to gain place in tertiary institutions, and not just universities, but in technical and other business schools in the country. And coming on board are also governments encouraging private sector providers to run programs that will complement the intention of the state to expand available spaces in the universities and technical and vocational institutions.
Students in the secondary schools, they must be advised to know that competition for university places is now getting very, very competitive. So if the competition is very high, it is better for them to do even better, perform beyond expectation. The GPA levels have increased. UOG, for the first time, we are seeing students with high GPA applying for UOG with first or as first choice. Many a time we are often left with second or third choice. But this year the trend is that the first choice application seem to be getting the first choice. And that to us means that the first choice application are indicating to UOG that we are a preferred university for this particular group of students who see no other university but us. And for those type of students with high GPA putting first choice for UOG, we can be hopeful that they can get a place at the university. But to get a place at the university, they must work very, very smart, not harder, because everybody else is working hard, cheating in the examinations. But for those who are working smart, will perform to the natural gifted potential, and they can be able to secure places. I think that's the encouragement I would like to give it to our students who are looking at getting into the universities next year.
That's all we have time for on Olsem Wanem tonight. You can watch this episode again online at www.emtv.com.pg or visit our Facebook page, search Olsem Wanem MTV. For more information about the University of Goroka, visit their website at www.uog.ac.pg. Coming up on Olsem Wanem next week, the 2017 PNG Women's Forum Highlands Region. Until next time, take care.